Welcome to Flourish in 5. My name is Heather Lawton, and every Friday I share a story, a lesson, or a quick idea with a goal of helping you gain a new perspective. I am so grateful for all of your kind words and thoughts around episode 200 that was released last week, and I'm so thankful that you are excited about the FARX. That's the Flourish.Academy prescription. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, go to Flourish.Academy/RX to learn more. Essentially, I'll jump on a one-on-one Zoom call with you, help identify your current biggest challenge, and then we'll work on writing you a prescription for the next 30 days to hopefully help you move forward. Okay. In other news, I was working a couple of months ago with one of my instructors from the classes I've been taking around NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, and CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy. And we were talking about trauma, specifically victims, and what that looks like. So when something happens to you, and by the way, I think probably most of us have been victimized in some way or another. We often talk about capital T trauma, which is like really, really major things, and then little t trauma, which is similar to my story from second grade. I shared a few weeks ago about becoming ill on my desk in second grade. I would classify that as a small t trauma, but it certainly impacted me. Anyway, he introduced a concept around this that I had never heard before. And I found it so fascinating. I'm still processing it in real time. But essentially, what he was suggesting is that when something happens to you, in that moment, you are a victim, but only in that exact moment. The following day and the following months and years beyond that, you are no longer a victim. You are a processor of your experience. So, victim of circumstance while something is happening, but immediately after that, like the next day, you're not a victim. You are processing the experience. Because the issue is, and maybe you recognize this, is that people start to identify, their identity becomes based in victimhood. I'm a victim. I was a victim, which leaves you feeling utterly powerless and unable to move forward in different areas of your life. If you can break that identity and just say, I was victimized, definitely something happened, but I am now a processor of that experience, because I believe what he's saying is true. In this moment, I'm not a victim to anything in this moment. I'm sitting here talking to you. But if something happened to me previously, I was victimized, but I'm now processing that experience. Guess what that does? When you become the processor of your experience, you are now in control, because you can decide how you process it. You can start to maybe get the help you need or make different choices on how you view that situation. I just found that so interesting, because he was talking even about like really major trauma, serious victimized individuals who had something happen terribly, but then they overcame it because they recognized that they were processing the experience after it happened. Right now, as you're listening to this, you are currently most likely not a victim, not in this moment. Because if you're listening to this, it's probably by choice. So nobody's making you do anything. If you were victimized in the past, I'm so sorry. It's very serious. I don't take that lightly, but you're no longer a victim. You are now processing the experience. Okay, I'm in control. Again, that means I can make better choices. Well, I was thinking through this and talking with my mom about a few past episodes, and she said, some of those stories you're sharing don't exactly paint us in the best light. And I said, oh gosh, Mom, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, you're right. I have a wonderfully loving, attentive mother who I'm pretty sure is a saint sent straight from Jesus himself. So I didn't certainly mean to paint anyone in a bad light, sharing those experiences from my childhood. And, the car accident I talked about a few episodes ago, where I was taking a nap in the trunk. I think I was maybe 3 years old. I would say I was at that moment the victim of an accident and maybe some poor decisions, but now I'm processing the experience as an adult and trying to make sense of how that impacts my current life or how it explains behaviors. That's what we talked about. That was a few episodes ago. Make sure you check that out. But anyway, I said to her, Mom, I think there's one more story I just need to share. Okay, there's probably a lot more, but this one comes to mind. And it was very traumatic for me as a child. I don't know how old I was, maybe 8 or 9. I'm not even sure. You know how time is. And we were very poor. We did not have a lot of money. And my mom joined a co-op at our church. This is before the days of Costco, but essentially it's the same principle, which is a bunch of people would go in on an order and place it in bulk. And then this massive order would come to the church, and these women would get together and they would weigh their food and divide it out and pay their portion in order to save money. So she came home one day from dividing out the co-op groceries, and she had this huge bag. I mean, it was probably a 5 or 10 pound bag of chocolate chips. And I lost my mind. We just typically didn't have things like that. I'm not saying never, but it was a special treat. And I saw this bag of chocolate chips and I thought, I am living the good life. Like life is worth living because I have access now to all of these chocolate chips. So I excitedly, and I probably snuck this. I dug in to the chocolate chips, and Mom was going to make cookies, and it was so exciting. And I ate them and I was like, what in the world? This does not taste right. Like, is something wrong with these chocolate chips? And so I told her, and she was like, oh no, they're carob. I said, I'm sorry, what? She said, those are carob chips. To this day, I still don't even know what carob is. They're made from carob powder. Okay, what is that? Carob. Have you heard of these? So, I mean, I didn't know anything about it as a child, and I never ate them again, by the way. But I felt a victim. I was absolutely a victim of those carob chips. It kind of rocked my world because it was like, wait, I thought those were chocolate chips. No, they're carob because we're poor. And she's like, they're going to taste just the same in cookies. No, okay, they didn't taste just the same. And I said, Mom, if I share this story about the carob chips, whatever's coming your way, you deserve it, because that was a really awful, sneaky thing to do. And she's like, well, I wasn't hiding it from you. I was trying to get you a treat. That was not a treat. Carob. Did you ever see that meme of oatmeal raisin cookies? Or no, just raisin cookies. And it's like, I thought this was a chocolate chip cookie. This is why I have trust issues. I literally have trust issues over the carob chips. I was 100% a victim, still am. No, of course not. I am now processing that experience, I hope, in a healthy way. But I wanted to just lighten the mood around the victim stuff because I know it can be really heavy. But the truth is, if something happened to you, you were victimized. You were past tense, were. You no longer are a victim. You were a victim. Now you are a processor of that experience, which puts you in control. I actually have an appointment this afternoon with my therapist, and I think I'm going to bring up the carob situation. I hope that you found this useful. I'll see you in the next video.